The Gardner-Webb has had, I think Carol McRae is doing a good job there. It's his second year. And I think he's building a good foundation upon which to build. They've had some injury problems this year, which has affected certainly some of their play. I think because of that, they've been a little bit inconsistent. But they've been very, very good at home. The record over their last 11 games, I think, is something like 9-2. They're undefeated at home this year. They're still 500. And from an offensive perspective, you know, their quarterback has been one of the leaders in the league. He led the league in passing in 2012. He can certainly throw the ball. Number 19 is a preseason all-conference player. He hurt us a year ago. From a defensive perspective, they've got that All-American defensive lineman, I think number 91. They hit you up front. They're athletic. That includes the linebackers. They do a good job getting to the ball. They give you a lot of disguises. They will show blitz one side, bring it the other side, show it on the perimeter, come up the middle, show it up the middle, come on the perimeter, show it not come at all. They'll mix up zone and man coverages and do a good job with that. So I think at the end of the day, you know, they have been very successful at home. They have an opportunity to play us. We got to go back on the road again, and we know it's going to be a good football game.
Kenny Cook, the receiver who you mentioned, is their standout, you know, talent individually. How do you defend him? Do you have one guy shadow him the whole game, or what's the best way to approach a guy like that?
Well, if you overplay a really good receiver, they have enough talent that they can go someplace else. So Kenny has something like, I'd have to double check, I think he's got something like 38 catches in like 6 games. The other guys have like 28, 25, but all in 8 games. So they do throw more to him, but they still throw plenty to the other guys. So it's not like he's catching more balls than anybody else combined. He's catching more balls than the other 3 guys. But the other 3 guys combined catch more balls than he does. So if you overplay Kenny, they're going to hurt you with the other guys. So I think, you know, there are certain times where we might be able to pay a little bit more attention to him. But I think the key for us is always know where he is. We can't ever lose sight of him and know that he's a go-to guy for them. But if we overplay him, they're going to hurt us someplace else. So it's more going to be aware of where he is and be disciplined with regards to our reads.
They've given up the most sacks in the league by far. When you see a matchup like that, do you get more aggressive? What's the best way to play a team that's been so vulnerable on the edges and up front?
Well, I think we normally are aggressive. I think it's not uncommon for us to be aggressive with our pressures. You know, we'll continue to do that. I don't see us changing that. I think the score often dictates maybe if you want to be a little bit more aggressive or less. But I think we go into the game plan from a defensive perspective with the idea that we're going to blitz a reasonable amount of time, and we got to be sound with regards to that and thoughtful in terms of when we do that. Then the game flow in itself will dictate whether or not we want to be more or less than that.
Game. Look at Gardner-Webb. They got shut out last week. They barely had any yards offensively. What do you take away when you see that box score from their game?
I mean, we take away from that game. We just look at those guys' film, you know, because they played Liberty. We just kind of want to take away from what Liberty defense did to their offense to kind of actually shut them down. I got a friend up there, Kenny Cook, their starting receiver. You know, we talk all the time, so it'd be fun to play against those guys.
He's definitely their best playmaker. What's he been saying this week when you talk to him?
He's just been saying that they basically been struggling up front in the offensive line, but, you know, they've just been trying to get wins in every week, so we just got to take care of business. Like our coach said, we pay rent every week. That
was a good quote. So you're coming off a bye week before last game. You look fresh, you look sharp, one of the better games of the season. Where do you feel this team's at this point of the season?
We're at a good point. We actually took that step, and we actually took that step getting back to where we needed to be at on defense. We got everybody back, so we're at a good point right now, and I think we just want to keep moving forward. We don't want to take this week off, you know, just because we won a big one last week.
Okay, you're playing the Gardner-Webb team that got shut out last week, really struggled offensively. What's that say to you when you see that team coming off a game like that?
Well, we know they're going to come out strong, you know, back at home. They got a very strong offensive line, and they got some weapons, Kenny Cook. So we just got to be prepared, you know, keep doing what we do, stay mentally fresh, and we should be fine.
They've given them a lot of sacks this season, most in the Big South. Does that excite you as a defensive end?
Yeah, I mean, we know that we can get to the quarterback. So they got a pretty big offensive line. So we just got to keep staying physical and get to the quarterback.
You're 2 away from the single-season sack record. Are you aware of that? Are you kind of keeping track with that?
Yeah, I am, but the most I can do is play hard and play and give God the glory, because whatever happens, it's up to Him. So I just got to keep playing hard and do what I can to help the team win.